do you know the name that God revealed to Moses? Now, imagine yourself standing before a secret so powerful that it has been preserved for millennia, a name that prophets feared to pronounce, that monarchs revered in silence, and that priests would only whisper once a year. What if I told you that the true name of God is not the one widely known, but something much deeper? Something capable of completely transforming your understanding of the Holy Scriptures? Today, we are going to unveil one of the greatest mysteries of the Bible, the authentic divine name. But before we proceed, share your thoughts in the comments. Do you believe that we should know God's name with precision, or is it more important to understand its meaning? Your perspective is essential. And if there are other biblical topics that spark your curiosity, let us know as well. Subscribe now because this is a topic you cannot afford to miss. In this video, we will not only discuss God's name. We will delve into a mystery that has intrigued scholars, historians, and believers for generations. From the enigmatic Tetragrammaton YHWH in the Old Testament to Christ's revelation in the New Testament, we will explore the significance of this name and what it represents for us today. Is it merely a designation, or is it the key to a deeper connection with the Creator? This is not just a theological discussion, it is a journey that could transform your faith. So stay with me, because by the end of this video, I will reveal something surprising that very few people know. In Hebrew tradition, names were not mere labels but expressions of identity and mission. Each name carried a profound meaning, reflecting something essential about the person or deity it referred to. For example, the name Abraham means father of multitudes, while Isaiah means God is salvation. But what about the name of God? Why is it so important and so carefully preserved? In the Old Testament, the divine name appears more than 6,800 times in the form of YHWH, known as the sacred Tetragrammaton. This name was so revered that the Israelites avoided pronouncing it. Instead, they used titles such as Adonai, Lord, or Elohim, God. But what does YHWH mean, and why is it so enigmatic? To understand the significance of this name, we need to delve into the historical and cultural context of its time. The Tetragrammaton YHWH is one of the most sacred and mysterious names of the Creator in Scripture. These 4 Hebrew letters appear in nearly every book of the Old Testament, yet their exact pronunciation has been lost over time. Researchers believe that the forms Yahweh or Jehovah are reconstructions based on historical clues. But why did the original pronunciation disappear? Some theories suggest that it was to prevent disrespectful use of the name, while others indicate that it was a way to preserve its sanctity. In the past, names carried a unique spiritual force. It was believed that the name of a person or deity reflected their essence and authority. For this reason, the name of God is not just a reference to Him but a revelation of His nature. In Exodus 3 verse 14, when Moses asks God about His name, he responds, I am who I am. In Hebrew, this expression is Yahweh Asher Yahweh. This name is not just a statement of existence but a revelation of divine eternity and self-sufficiency. God is the one who exists by Himself, independent of anything or anyone. One of the most striking events in the Bible is Moses' encounter with the burning bush in Exodus 3. While shepherding his father-in-law's sheep, Moses saw a bush that was burning but was not consumed. As he approached, God spoke to him through the flame and declared that He had heard the cry of His enslaved people in Egypt. Moses, uncertain of his ability to lead the Israelites, asked God, Who am I to go before Pharaoh and free the children of Israel? God answered, I will be with you. But Moses persisted, If I go to the Israelites and say that the God of their ancestors sent me, and they ask what His name is, what should I tell them? That was when God revealed His name, I am who I am. This was not just a response but a promise that His presence would be with Moses through every challenge. God is not a distant or indifferent being, He is an active Creator committed to His people. Now, let's move forward to the New Testament. Jesus frequently referred to God as Father and taught His disciples to pray, saying, Our Father who art in heaven. This approach brought a profound transformation compared to the Old Testament, where the emphasis was on the sacred name YHWH. Does this mean that God's name lost its significance? Not at all. In reality, Jesus revealed something even deeper. the name of God is not just a word, it is a relationship. When Jesus stated, "I and the Father are one," he showed us that the true name of God is reflected in his character, love, and presence in our lives. In John 17 verse 6, Christ declares, "I have manifested your name to the men whom you have given me out of the world." This does not mean that Jesus taught the pronunciation of the Tetragrammaton, but rather that he revealed the essence and nature of the Creator. Christ taught us that the name of God is not just something we express but something we live. It is a relationship built on grace, truth, and divine love. If God is the architect of the universe, did he leave his mark on creation? Recent scientific discoveries have revealed something fascinating in the human genetic code. The structure of DNA is composed of specific sequences represented by 4 letters, A, T, C, and G, but the most astonishing part is what biochemist Dr. Jitak Bentov identified. The arrangement of proteins in DNA follows a numerical pattern that corresponds to the values of the Hebrew letters of the divine name, YH. In other words, the name of God may be inscribed in every cell of our being. If this is true, then every human being literally carries the signature of the Creator. Scholars have discovered that the composition of DNA is based on sets of 4 symbols, A, T, C, and G, but here is the most impressive detail. Biochemist Dr. Jitak Bentov identified that the sequence of proteins in our genetic code follows a numerical pattern that matches the value of the Hebrew letters of the divine name, YH. In other words, the name of God may be imprinted in every cell of our body. If this is true, then every individual is literally a creation that carries the signature of the Creator. But there is something beyond this, something that connects us to the destiny of humanity. Today, we live in an era where scientific knowledge and technological development are advancing at an unprecedented speed. Innovations in artificial intelligence are enabling the creation of systems that analyze information, make decisions, and even produce art and musical compositions. However, there is a concerning question. Humanity is now seeking to rewrite the very code of existence, modifying it, integrating the human mind with technology, and attempting to achieve immortality through scientific advancements. Could it be that we are, in some way, trying to replace God's name in our DNA with something different? In the Scriptures, when men attempted to reach the heavens by building the Tower of Babel, God confused their language. Today, we are constructing a new kind of Babel, the fusion of humans and machines. We are challenging the original structure established by the Creator. Could this be a warning that we are approaching the end times? God's name is not just a mystery of Hebrew tradition but also appears in surprising ways in other ancient civilizations. In Egypt, for example, some researchers have identified similarities between the name YHWH and the Egyptian god Yah, associated with the moon and creation. Could it be that other ancient cultures knew the divine name under different designations? In Sumerian tradition, one of the oldest known, tablets have been discovered mentioning a deity called Yahweh, suggesting a possible connection between Mesopotamian and Hebrew traditions. Additionally, in the Indian subcontinent, Sanskrit contains a similar word, Java, which means, the one who exists by himself. Could it be that God's name has been manifested in different forms for different peoples, yet always maintaining a common meaning? This topic also leads us to reflect on how the divine name has been translated in various versions of the Holy Scriptures. In the Septuagint, the ancient Greek translation of the Old Testament, the name YHWH was replaced with Kyrios, Lord. What could have been the motivation behind this decision? Was it to adapt the name to a different culture or to preserve its sanctity? Finally, an intriguing question arises. If God's name is universal, why has it been interpreted in so many ways? Could it be that each culture holds only a fraction of the knowledge, and the fullness of the truth will only be revealed in the last days? Angels are messengers of the Most High and, according to certain traditions, know the divine name in a way that humans cannot comprehend. In the book of Daniel, the angel Gabriel refers to God as the Ancient of Days, a title that suggests deep reverence for the Creator. But what else do we know about the interaction of angels with the divine name? According to Jewish tradition, it is believed that angels ceaselessly sing praises to God's name in the heavens. The book of Isaiah describes the seraphim proclaiming, "Holy, holy, holy is the Lord of hosts," Isaiah 6 verse 3. Could God's name be a kind of celestial frequency, a sacred code that angels use to remain in harmony with the divine will? Furthermore, in apocryphal writings such as the Book of Enoch, it is mentioned that fallen angels attempted to reveal heavenly mysteries to humanity, including the sacred name. But why would this be so dangerous? Could it be that this name possesses a power beyond our understanding, capable of influencing reality itself? God's name is not confined to the past but also plays a crucial role in biblical prophecies about the future. In the book of Revelation, it is stated that the 144,000 sealed ones will carry God's name on their foreheads, Revelation 14 verse 1. What could this mean? Would it be a literal mark or a symbol of communion with the Creator? Additionally, in Revelation 19 verse 12, it is mentioned that Christ will return with a name that no one knows except himself. Could this name be the final revelation of God's true name? Some scholars suggest that this name will be the ultimate manifestation of divine character and power, something that transcends everything we have ever understood. This topic also invites us to reflect on the connection between God's name and the events of the end times. In the book of Joel, there is a promise that says, "Everyone who calls on the name of the Lord will be saved," Joel 2 verse 32. Could God's name be a key to salvation in the last days? How can we prepare to invoke it with faith and reverence? This question is one of the most debated in theology and religious practice. In Jewish tradition, the name YHWH was considered so sacred that only the high priest could pronounce it, and only once a year, on the Day of Atonement. Even today, many Jews avoid saying God's name, opting for terms like Adonai, Lord, or Hashem, the name. On the other hand, some Christian groups argue that the divine name should be used as a way to honor and draw closer to Him. For example, Jehovah's Witnesses use the form Jehovah in an attempt to restore the pronunciation of the sacred name. But is this appropriate, or are we at risk of using God's name in a disrespectful manner? God's name is not just a word, it is a call to awakening, a reminder that we were not created by chance but with an eternal purpose. Today, we explored the mystery of the divine name, from the Tetragrammaton in the Old Testament to the revelations of Jesus in the New Testament. We have seen that God's name is not merely a set of letters but an expression of His character and the relationship He maintains with us. If this content has impacted you, share your thoughts in the comments. What does God's name mean to you? And if you want to continue diving deeper into this topic, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications for more content like this. Until next time. And remember, the pursuit of truth is a journey worth taking.